In the dim hours when the world hushes its chaos and embraces the soothing embrace of night, there lies a sanctuary for the weary soul, the realm of sleep. Yet, how often do we find ourselves tossing and turning, tormented by restless thoughts and unruly emotions? The Stoics, those ancient architects of resilience, offer us a guiding light amidst the darkness of our restless minds. Here, gathered beneath the cloak of wisdom, we unveil the sacred decrees of sleep's sentinels, the 10 things a person must not do if they seek the tranquil shores of slumber. 1. Do not cling to the past. As Epictetus, that sage of the soul, once declared, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens, happen the way it happens. Let not the shadows of yesterday darken the dreams of tomorrow. Release the burdens of the past, for they are but echoes in the chamber of your mind. Point 1 emphasizes the importance of not clinging to the past. In Stoicism, there is a strong emphasis on focusing on the present moment and accepting things as they are, rather than dwelling on what has already happened. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus teaches that we should not be overly attached to our desires or expectations about how things should be. Instead, we should accept reality as it unfolds and focus on what we can control, namely, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By letting go of the past, we free ourselves from the burden of regret and resentment. We recognize that what has happened cannot be changed, and we empower ourselves to move forward with clarity and purpose. This does not mean forgetting about the past entirely, but rather reframing our perspective on it. We can learn from past experiences, but we should not allow them to dictate our present or future. In practical terms, not clinging to the past involves practices such as mindfulness, meditation, and reframing negative thoughts. It requires a conscious effort to let go of attachments and cultivate a mindset of acceptance and equanimity. By doing so, we can find greater peace and tranquility in the present moment, allowing us to sleep soundly without the weight of the past weighing heavily on our minds. 2. Do not fear the future. Seneca, that stalwart sentinel of Stoicism, reminds us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Cast aside the chains of anxiety that bind you to tomorrow's uncertainties. Embrace the present moment, for it is the only reality we truly possess. Point 2 highlights the Stoic principle of not fearing the future. This concept is rooted in the idea that much of our suffering stems from anticipation of events that have not yet occurred. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Stoicism encourages us to focus on the present moment and to accept the inherent uncertainty of the future. While it's natural to have concerns about what lies ahead, excessive worry and anxiety only serve to rob us of our peace of mind in the present. Instead of allowing our minds to be consumed by fears of what might happen, Stoicism teaches us to cultivate a mindset of resilience and adaptability. We can prepare for the future by taking practical steps to mitigate potential risks, but we should not allow fear to paralyze us or prevent us from fully engaging with the present moment. Practicing mindfulness and living in the present can help alleviate anxiety about the future. By grounding ourselves in the here and now, we can find a sense of calm and stability that transcends our concerns about what may or may not happen down the road. Ultimately, embracing the Stoic principle of not fearing the future allows us to approach life with courage and equanimity. We can face whatever challenges may come our way with strength and resolve, knowing that we have the inner resources to navigate them effectively. This mindset empowers us to sleep soundly, free from the grip of anxiety and worry about what tomorrow may bring. 3. Do not worry over matters beyond your control. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, that sovereign philosopher king, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let not the tempests of fate disturb your inner peace. Surrender to the flow of the universe and find solace in the serenity of acceptance. Point 3 delves into the Stoic philosophy of focusing only on what is within our control and not worrying about matters beyond our influence. This principle is epitomized by the famous Stoic maxim attributed to Epictetus. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power or our body, our property, reputation, office, and, in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. External events, other people's actions, and even our own bodies fall outside our sphere of control. Instead, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions are the only things truly within our power. By focusing our attention and efforts on what we can control, our own thoughts, behaviors, and choices, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that come from trying to manipulate or change things beyond our influence. This shift in perspective allows us to approach life with greater clarity, resilience, and inner peace. In practical terms, practicing this Stoic principle involves cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness to recognize when we are becoming preoccupied with external factors over which we have no control. It also entails developing the discipline to accept things as they are and to respond with wisdom and equanimity, rather than reacting impulsively or allowing external events to dictate our emotional state. By embracing the Stoic philosophy of focusing only on what is within our control, we can liberate ourselves from the tyranny of external circumstances and find greater serenity and contentment in our lives. This mindset empowers us to sleep soundly, knowing that we have done all we can and that the rest is beyond our control. 4. Do not indulge in excessive pleasure. For as Epictetus admonishes, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Temptation whispers sweet promises of satisfaction, but true freedom lies in the mastery of desire. Moderate your pleasures lest they become your masters. Point 4 delves into the Stoic principle of moderation and avoiding the indulgence in excessive pleasure. This principle is rooted in the Stoic belief that true freedom and happiness come from mastering our desires and appetites, rather than being enslaved by them. Stoicism teaches us to pursue a life of virtue and self-discipline, which involves tempering our desires for pleasure and material wealth. While it's natural to seek enjoyment and comfort in life, indulging in excessive pleasures can lead to dissatisfaction, imbalance, and a loss of control over our lives. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized the importance of cultivating an inner sense of freedom that is not dependent on external circumstances or fleeting pleasures. He famously said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Practicing moderation involves being mindful of our desires and impulses and making conscious choices to restrain ourselves when necessary. It means enjoying life's pleasures in moderation, rather than allowing them to dominate our lives or distract us from what truly matters. By practicing moderation, we cultivate a sense of inner strength and resilience that allows us to face life's challenges with clarity and equanimity. We become less attached to material possessions and external pleasures, and more focused on cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, and compassion. Ultimately, the Stoic principle of moderation teaches us that true freedom and happiness come from within, and that by mastering our desires and appetites, we can live a life of greater fulfillment and contentment. This mindset empowers us to sleep soundly, knowing that we are living in harmony with our values and principles. 5. Do not yield to anger. Like a consuming flame, anger consumes the tranquil gardens of the soul. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it, warns Marcus Aurelius. Practice patience in the face of provocation, for in restraint lies the true measure of strength. Point 5 delves into the Stoic teaching of not yielding to anger. Stoicism recognizes that anger is a destructive emotion that clouds judgment, disrupts inner peace, and leads to harmful actions. Instead, Stoicism advocates for cultivating patience, understanding, and self-control in the face of provocation. The Stoic philosopher Seneca famously said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." This sentiment underscores the Stoic belief that the consequences of anger far outweigh any perceived benefits. When we allow anger to take hold of us, We relinquish control over our thoughts and actions, often causing harm to ourselves and others in the process. To avoid yielding to anger, Stoicism offers several practical strategies. Mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, we can become more aware of our emotional reactions and recognize the early signs of anger before it escalates. This awareness allows us to intervene and choose a more constructive response. Pause and reflect. When faced with a provocation, Stoicism advises taking a moment to pause and reflect before reacting. This pause allows us to regain composure and consider the situation from a rational perspective rather than acting impulsively out of anger. Practice empathy. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate empathy and understanding towards others, even when they behave in ways that upset or offend us. By considering the motivations and circumstances of others, we can develop a more compassionate response that transcends anger. Focus on virtue. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize virtue and moral goodness above all else. When faced with a situation that triggers anger, we can ask ourselves whether our response aligns with the principles of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. By mastering our emotions and resisting the temptation to yield to anger, we can cultivate inner peace, strengthen relationships, and live with greater integrity and dignity. This mindset empowers us to sleep soundly, knowing that we have the strength and wisdom to navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. 6. Do not nurse resentment. The venom of resentment poisons the wellspring of compassion. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy, teaches Marcus Aurelius. Let forgiveness be your shield against the arrows of bitterness. For in forgiveness, we find liberation. Point 6 delves into the Stoic teaching of not nursing resentment. Resentment is a corrosive emotion that festers within us, poisoning our thoughts, attitudes, and relationships. Stoicism teaches us to release the grip of resentment and embrace forgiveness as a pathway to inner peace and liberation. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This sentiment encapsulates the Stoic approach to dealing with resentment. Rather than seeking vengeance or holding onto grudges, Stoicism encourages us to rise above petty grievances and cultivate a spirit of forgiveness and compassion. To avoid nursing resentment, Stoicism offers several practical strategies. Letting go. Stoicism teaches us to let go of past grievances and release the hold that resentment has over us. Holding on to resentment only prolongs our suffering and prevents us from moving forward with clarity and purpose. Practicing empathy. Stoicism encourages us to empathize with those who have wronged us, recognizing that they too are fallible human beings, subject to their own struggles and shortcomings. By understanding the perspectives and motivations of others, we can cultivate compassion and forgiveness. Choosing virtue. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of prioritizing virtue and moral goodness in all aspects of our lives. When faced with a situation that triggers resentment, we can ask ourselves whether our response aligns with the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Cultivating gratitude. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate gratitude for the lessons learned from past experiences, even those that may have caused us pain or suffering. By reframing our perspective on past grievances, we can find meaning and growth in adversity. By releasing resentment and embracing forgiveness, we free ourselves from the burden of bitterness and resentment. This mindset allows us to live with greater peace, resilience, and integrity, fostering healthier relationships and a deeper sense of inner fulfillment. Ultimately, letting go of resentment empowers us to sleep soundly, knowing that we have chosen the path of compassion and forgiveness. 7. Do not dwell on the faults of others. As Seneca counsels, we become wiser by adversity. Prosperity destroys our appreciation of the right. Turn not your gaze outward in judgment, but inward in introspection. Seek not to condemn, but to understand, for in understanding lies the seed of empathy. Point 7 delves into the Stoic teaching of not dwelling on the faults of others. Stoicism encourages us to practice empathy, understanding, and compassion towards others, rather than succumbing to judgment and criticism. Dwelling on the faults of others only serves to foster resentment, bitterness, and negativity within us, hindering our own inner peace and well-being. The Stoic philosopher Seneca advised, "We become wiser by adversity. Prosperity destroys our appreciation of the right." This sentiment underscores the Stoic belief that adversity and challenges can serve as opportunities for growth and self-reflection. Rather than focusing on the faults of others, Stoicism teaches us to turn our gaze inward and examine our own thoughts, attitudes, and actions. To avoid dwelling on the faults of others, Stoicism offers several practical strategies. Practice empathy. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate empathy and understanding towards others, recognizing that everyone is fighting their own battles and facing their own challenges. By putting ourselves in the shoes of others, we can develop a more compassionate and forgiving outlook. Focus on virtue. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize virtue and moral goodness in all aspects of our lives. When faced with the faults or shortcomings of others, we can choose to respond with patience, kindness, and understanding rather than judgment or condemnation. Practice self-reflection. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and self-reflection. Rather than projecting our own insecurities or shortcomings onto others, we can use moments of conflict or disagreement as opportunities to examine our own thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. Cultivate gratitude. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate gratitude for the positive qualities and contributions of others, rather than dwelling on their faults or shortcomings. By focusing on the strengths and virtues of others, we can foster a more positive and harmonious relationship with them. By avoiding dwelling on the faults of others, we free ourselves from the toxic cycle of judgment and criticism, allowing us to cultivate greater inner peace, harmony, and compassion in our lives. This mindset empowers us to sleep soundly, knowing that we have chosen the path of empathy and understanding towards others. 8. Do not forsake virtue for expediency. In the words of Epictetus, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Let not the allure of expediency seduce you from the path of virtue. Uphold the principles of righteousness even in the face of adversity." Point 8 explores the Stoic principle of not forsaking virtue for expedience. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize living a life of moral integrity and adherence to ethical principles, even in the face of challenges or temptations to take shortcuts or compromise our values for personal gain. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This sentiment underscores the Stoic belief that true wealth and fulfillment come from living a life of virtue and moral goodness, rather than pursuing fleeting pleasures or material possessions. To avoid forsaking virtue for expedience, Stoicism offers several practical strategies. Prioritize virtue. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize virtue as the highest good in life. When faced with choices or decisions, we can ask ourselves whether our actions align with the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Consider the consequences. Stoicism encourages us to consider the long-term consequences of our actions and decisions. While expedient choices may offer short-term benefits, they often come with long-term costs or repercussions that undermine our well-being and integrity. Practice self-discipline. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and self-control in living a virtuous life. By cultivating inner strength and resilience, we can resist the temptation to prioritize expedience over moral integrity. Focus on inner fulfillment. Stoicism teaches us to find fulfillment and contentment from within, rather than seeking validation or satisfaction from external sources. By living a life of virtue and moral goodness, we can experience a deeper sense of inner peace and fulfillment that transcends material wealth or worldly success. By not forsaking virtue for expedience, we honor our values and principles, leading a life of integrity and moral clarity. This mindset empowers youth to sleep soundly, knowing that we have chosen the path of virtue and righteousness, even in the face of adversity or temptation. Verse 9. Do not succumb to despair. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult, declares Seneca. When the shadows of despair loom large, remember that within you lies the spark of resilience. Kindle that flame, and let it illuminate the darkness. Point 9 delves into the Stoic principle of not succumbing to despair. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate resilience, inner strength, and a sense of purpose that enables us to navigate life's challenges with courage and fortitude, rather than giving in to despair and hopelessness. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." This sentiment underscores the Stoic belief that our perception and attitude towards challenges greatly influence our ability to overcome them. To avoid succumbing to despair, Stoicism offers several practical strategies. Acceptance of reality. Stoicism teaches us to accept reality as it is, rather than resisting or denying it. By acknowledging and accepting the challenges we face, we can begin to formulate effective strategies for overcoming them. Focus on what is within our control. Stoicism emphasizes focusing our attention and efforts on what is within our control, rather than dwelling on external circumstances beyond our influence. By directing our energy towards taking positive action, we can regain a sense of agency and empowerment. Maintain perspective. Stoicism encourages us to maintain perspective and recognize that challenges and setbacks are a natural part of life. By adopting a broader perspective, we can see beyond our immediate circumstances and find hope and inspiration in the resilience of the human spirit. Practice. Gratitude. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate gratitude for the blessings and opportunities in our lives, even in the face of adversity. By focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we can counteract feelings of despair and cultivate a sense of resilience and inner strength. By not succumbing to despair, we harness our inner resources and resilience to face life's challenges with courage and determination. This mindset empowers us to sleep soundly, knowing that we possess the strength and resilience to overcome any obstacle that comes our way. 10. Do not neglect the practice of gratitude. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants, teaches Epictetus. Cultivate a spirit of gratitude for the simple blessings that grace your life. In the embrace of gratitude, you will find the warmth of contentment. Point 10 delves into the Stoic practice of cultivating gratitude. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate the blessings and opportunities that life offers, fostering a sense of contentment and fulfillment that transcends material wealth or external circumstances. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This sentiment underscores the Stoic belief that true wealth and happiness come from cultivating an attitude of gratitude and contentment, rather than constantly striving for more. To cultivate gratitude, Stoicism offers several practical strategies. Count your blessings. Stoicism encourages us to reflect on the positive aspects of our lives and appreciate the blessings we have, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we can cultivate a sense of gratitude and contentment. Practice mindfulness. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and being mindful of our experiences. By paying attention to the beauty and wonder of the world around us, we can cultivate a deeper appreciation for life and all its gifts. Express gratitude. Stoicism encourages us to express gratitude to others for their kindness, support, and contributions to our lives. By acknowledging and appreciating the efforts of others, we strengthen our relationships and foster a sense of connection and belonging. Find meaning in adversity. Stoicism teaches us to find meaning and growth in adversity, recognizing that challenges and setbacks can be opportunities for learning and self-improvement. By reframing our perspective on difficult situations, we can cultivate gratitude for the lessons they teach us. By cultivating gratitude, we foster a sense of inner peace, contentment, and fulfillment that enables us to sleep soundly, knowing that we have everything we need to lead a rich and meaningful life. This mindset empowers us to find joy and satisfaction in the present moment, regardless of external circumstances. Thus, let us heed the counsel of the Stoic sages and guard the sanctity of our sleep with vigilance and reverence. For in the stillness of the night, amidst the silence of our souls, we may find the solace we seek, the peace that surpasses all understanding. As we journeyed through the profound teachings of Stoicism, we uncovered 10 guiding principles to help us sleep soundly amidst life's tumultuous seas. From releasing the grip of the past to cultivating gratitude for the present, each point offers a beacon of wisdom to illuminate our path towards greater tranquility and fortitude. Remember, my friends, that Stoicism is not merely a philosophy to be pondered, but a way of life to be embraced. By heeding these timeless truths, we empower ourselves to transcend the grip of destructive emotions, cultivate inner peace, and live with purpose and integrity. Let us release the burdens of the past, relinquish the fears of the future, and focus our attention on what is within our control. Let us practice moderation, patience, and forgiveness, and embrace the virtues of courage, wisdom, and compassion. In the face of adversity, let us not yield to anger or despair, but stand firm with resilience and gratitude. And as we lay our heads upon our pillows each night, may we find solace in the knowledge that we have lived each day with courage, integrity, and gratitude. Sleep soundly, my friends, knowing that you possess the inner strength and wisdom to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. For in the stillness of the night, amidst the silence of our souls, we may find the peace that surpasses all understanding. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video if it is useful.